Alright, so, I'm gonna turn the volume down a bit. Oh, then it's gonna end up being way too quiet, but, I think it's fine. Hopefully. So, yeah, I'm back. I forgot how I used to, introduce these things, so I'm just gonna wing it. Also, I've got a cat. Say hello, Luna. Not sure if you can hear her purring in the mic, but, now she's on my other leg. I think she's just gonna hang out there. And, yes, let's play Twilight. I love Twilight. It's the best game. I'm just gonna go with Reimu and Ikari because I played them as my for my practice. I had to get back into Touhou. I am planning to practice more since I understand not everyone is into just blind playthroughs of this stuff. It does get a bit old after a while. But I'm sure you don't want me to be an expert, and how did that not kill me? I'd really like to know how that didn't kill me. So, yeah, it feels weird to be back, to say the least. To say the most. It is frankly pretty bizarre to play a shoot 'em up when I haven't played any for quite a while. Months, I'd say. And that's besides not playing Touhou since I last recorded. Well, I mean, I did have a few practice runs of this game, but not a whole lot. And certainly not enough to be, you know, completely get rid of the rust. I'm just gonna ignore the story because I don't really care about the story in this game all that much. Well, I mean, insofar as people care about the story in Touhou games. I mean, some people do, but of course. I mean, I guess it's kind of like fighting games. Some people just don't give a shit about the story. Other people find things to enjoy in it. And I guess it's just a matter of what people are looking for in their games. Some people with certain styles of gameplay just don't care about the story, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, it's less I don't care about the story in Touhou games in general, more just that I don't really find this story all that interesting, to be honest. I mean, I'm sure I don't need to explain it to you. I'm sure you're all very familiar with the story of Imperishable Night, with the moon, and the moon, and the moon, mostly just the moon. The moon and the people on the moon and the people who aren't on the moon, and Chang'e. Oh wait, no, that's the wrong game. That's the game I'm not looking forward to playing. I want to be the Touhou. Give me that bomb. Also, I never want to say those 4 words, right? Yeah. 4 words ever again. Fun fact, Zun, at least for point device mode, did actually have some inspiration from rage games. And since he was already aware of them, there's a possibility that he has had them in mind when designing past Touhou games. Just putting that out there, in case that one specific person sees this video. Probably won't. Probably has forgotten I exist by now. To be honest, I would have forgotten I exist by now. In fact, I've forgotten a lot of people existed when they hadn't posted for just a year. How long have I not posted anything on YouTube for? Actually, I think like 6 months is the cutoff for my memory. And then I'll just... You like, who? Who is that? Nah, never heard of them. Well, I've been subscribed to them? Well, I don't know. So you might notice that I'm not talking about the game like at all. It's because it's been easy so far, honestly. I mean, I know I'm playing on easy mode, but I had a lot more trouble on EOSD and PCB. I could have just called them by their full names, but whatever. Than I have on this game so far. I mean, I made a lot of stupid mistakes in my practice runs, but even then, I got all the way to the end on my first try. Not at 1cc, of course, but I made it there, which is more than I can say for the previous 2 games. That helps. The fact that it gives you a lot of time to bomb there. Which is a huge mercy. I'm very grateful that that's a thing that happens. In fact, I'd say that's what saves me. That saved me on my practice runs, made it a lot easier. Is the fact that I could basically just cheap it out that way. Ow. Seizure warning, Jesus. Ow. That actually hurt my eyes. I'm not exaggerating here. It's kind of painful. Anyway, so how have you been? I mean, I know I'm not actually talking to you, but feel free to post in the comments what you've been up to. Because, well, I'm sure it's more interesting than what I've been up to. I know, maybe it isn't. Maybe some people actually care. But, I've mostly just been trying to get my life back in order. Making some bad choices. I mean, not those kind of bad choices. Just in terms of, not doing work I'm supposed to. Not putting in a good amount of effort. School and such. So, I've been, I took a semester off from school. And now I'm back, and I think I'm doing alright. I think. I don't know. My grades aren't exactly readily accessible, so I haven't really checked them. Because I can't check them, I have no way of checking them. But now it's getting kind of difficult. So I may hush up a bit here, but yeah, I'm still studying game design. I've actually been trying to get into art recently. I think I'm, for only having a month or so worth of practice, I think I'm decently alright compared to, you know, a beginner. I mean, I don't think it's much of an achievement to be decently alright at something compared to a beginner. It's kind of the whole thing about being a beginner. What the hell? When did I get that many lives? That's insane. How do I skip there? Alright, so I think this is about where I started having trouble in my practice runs. Trouble being a relative term, because playing EUSD and PCB was pretty much nothing but trouble. By the way, I have not been giving a single shit about the that thing in the bottom left. I don't even know what it does. I mean, go ahead and explain it to me in the comments, but frankly, some of the stuff in these games just mystifies me. It's like, what relevance does that have to gameplay? Maybe it's because lack of a tutorial. I mean, it's probably in the game's text files. That I'm not sure whether those have been translated to English in this patch. But frankly, if I can ignore it, I do so, because there's not really much. I seem to be doing alright without knowing what it is. By the way, is that the maximum lives, or do I get one more before I'm out? I mean maxed out. I don't mean out of lives. I'm actually doing better than I have in my practice runs, which, reflecting on what I just said, seems a rather obvious statement, but still, it's kind of bizarre. It's like, this is measurably easier than any of the previous games I've played. Why? That makes no sense whatsoever. Why aren't the, why would this be the easier game? You'd think that because the Windows era was, or EOSD was basically a reboot of the series, so you'd think he would make that, focus on making that easier and accessible. I mean, it's accessible in that it doesn't have any gimmicks, but just be the one that people can play and be like, oh wow, I like this game. I think I'm gonna play more in this series. And then the other ones are harder, and that's alright because they've already played the one that they liked, so they're willing to play more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's just my own personal sensibilities on these things. I'm not sure. Although I did... Oh yeah. I should probably explain, because what I'm calling a practice one was really a failed recording. So I said it in there, but I haven't said it here. The reason I'm back to playing Touhou is because of the new game announcement. I'm very excited that Cerna will finally be getting her time in the spotlight. I mean, more so than Great Fairy Wars. Feels like... I don't know. The one thing that sort of puts me off is that Aya is making her playable debut as well. And while they are somewhat connected characters, even if it's mostly just in terms of their, mostly in terms of fanon. Well, not just fanon, but mostly in terms of what the fans like. still, it feels like it kind of makes it a bit less significant. It's like, I mean, I guess back in like the game I'm playing, this was Yomu's first playable appearance, and if you don't count POFV, it was her only one until 10 Desires shit. But even so, I don't think you can consider it the same, because like now it's more established. What's what around here, you know? Not now in the game I'm playing, but now, sorry, just trying to collect my thoughts. It's just like, of course, Marisa and Reimu are always, Reimu and Marisa rather, always playable. That's a given. But, which is odd, because I feel like Marisa consistently has much less attachment to any given plot. But, regardless, I'm gonna use a bomb. It feels like they introduced all the Stage 5 bosses as playable. Raisin sort of made sense that she wasn't playable because she wasn't really human, but then they made her playable anyway. Well, also, and Subterranean Animism was kind of a, I don't know, we could call it, not a reboot, not back to basics, but it returned it to just 2 playable characters. So I guess Raisin just sort of missed her opportunity there. Unfortunately for her. But even so, no, I didn't mean even so. It made sense that she got, I mean, sorry, thoughts still not in order. It's not early, like I usually record these things at, how did I not die? But it's also, sort of late. I'm just like right on the cusp of being too tired to process all this. Go get him, Ron. I don't like Ron as much as I used to, which is a shame. Anytime now. But like it sort of makes sense that she didn't get a playable debut. I mean, Raisin didn't get a playable debut. Now I'm just getting sloppy. Because she wasn't, I mean, you could explain it by her not being a human character. Even if that wasn't really the reason, you could say it was. And then Yomu was playable again in 10 Desires. Sane seems like a rather obvious choice that she would be playable. But then Raisin did get her, well, Sakuya got to come back in double dealing character. And then Raisin got her debut, so that was cool. I actually really like Raisin. So it was nice to see her get her time in the light. But then it feels like at that point it's established enough who the playable characters seemed established enough that they were bringing them back. Or Zun was brought Yomu and Sakuya back as playable. I mean, that's kind of a thing that you do once the characters are all established enough. That's when you stop introducing new characters at every turn and start reusing them. You know? But then Raisin got her playable debut in LOK, like I said, and that was cool. But it felt like she should have gotten another game. Or they should have... I guess they've all 5 of the previous playable characters, all 3, putting Reimu and Marisa aside, had gotten their spotlight, so it would be nice if they were just sort of more unified. You know, like, I guess it's a very situational thing, which characters are relevant. Still, getting back to what I started this train of thought with, Raisin was the first playable character since Sane in UFO, and that seems like it wasn't too long ago in terms of the enumeration, but that was a few years ago. So, it was a while before they introduced older characters playable, so that seemed to be the pattern. That it was going to be Raisin, and then Zun was going to keep reusing the playable characters until he introduced a new one, maybe a few games down the road. But then he not only, in the very next game, drops Sane, who had been a regular, from, okay, no, not a regular, but she had 3 games. 3 out of 4 games under her belt. And Raisin had just come into playable, but no, they're both dropped from the roster in favor of 2 new playable characters. And while they're very established characters in the world, I mean, Aya is, Cirno is just sort of very established as a Touhou character, not necessarily in terms of story. It still feels like a bit much. It's like, I don't know, maybe I already mentioned that this was my rationale for questioning it, but it just feels less significant. Like, it's less of an achievement. It doesn't mean that she's important. I mean, Aya is already, it's a given that she's important. Aya just sort of is important. Especially since people have been speculating that the whole Tan Cirno thing has to do with Antimony of Common Flowers, a game that we've gotten barely any details about yet. So it's like this sort of comes completely out of left field. Am I... Oh. So that also may mean that I don't know. It could mean anything. Maybe I'm just reading into things too much. I should wait. Ow. Yeah, I think it's a case of patience. Wait for more information to come out about these games. Probably. I'm not sure. I honestly don't know what to think at this point. I love how it keeps letting me shoot during the time when she's basically not attacking. Am I safe? Yes, I'm safe. Okay. Oh, I was safe. I shouldn't wasted a bomb there. Oh, well, I should be able to get through this without getting popped. Yeah, there you go. Alright. Well. This seems excessive. No, this seems easier than... I mean, really significantly easier than any of the games I've played before. Holy shit. Which, it would be really unfortunate if the game just kicked my ass in Stage 6 just as punishment for me drawing that conclusion. I know, if I can shoot these things fast enough, it seems like they aren't a problem. Yeah, that's totally not an issue. It just took me by surprise a bit, that's all. And that one showed up like right in front of me. Can I get another life, please? I'd really like... Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you. Ask and I shall receive. I feel like I said that. I should mention, I have not reviewed my old episodes at all. Frankly, I'm kind of, given how cringeworthy a lot of them are, I'm not very enthused to do that. But, almost half an hour. I might as well mention that I have 2 screens now. That's sort of a thing that I've done. So, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so I've got my recording window on my second screen, so I can just check the time, which is nice. I'm still not commenting on the, dialogue because I have nothing to say about it. And none of this makes sense to me, so, maybe it's just as well that maybe I shouldn't have just broken my... What was I saying? Was I saying anything significant? Do I ever say anything significant? That's debatable. So, something else to talk about, since I'm clearly not going to be talking about the game anytime soon. Oh yeah, any Final Fantasy fans out there? Marisa, you don't need to respond, because we already had this conversation. I've been wanting to get into Square JRPGs, for a while. So I've been playing, whoa, shit, that, spooked the shit out of me. I've been playing Final Fantasy VII, and I played Chrono Trigger before, and I really like both, although I like Chrono Trigger a lot more than Final Fantasy VII. Sorry to, any Final Fantasy VII fans out there. It's a good game. It's a good game. A lot of people give it way too much hate, myself formerly included, just because it's so popular. But, it's not as good as a lot of people say it is. Or I'm not enjoying it as much as it seemed like I would, given how many other people just heap praise on it. So I'd say I didn't expect all that much. I definitely knew ahead of time, I'm gonna lose a credit here, aren't I? I've still got a while to go. Was there a mid-boss? I can't remember. Was there a stage mid-boss for here? Is that... Oh, that's doing exactly what I think it is. Oh, no. I don't like that at all. Whoa. Maybe that was a bad idea. And now it's going to do it again. Now it's doing it the other way. Oh, thank goodness. But, honestly, I really like Chrono Trigger's characters more, generally speaking. I like, Aeris is the only, character in Final Fantasy VII I distinctly say I don't like, and we all know how that turns out, so it's not a huge problem. But, like, I like all the Chrono Trigger characters, and it's really hard to pick a favorite among them. Whereas in, Final Fantasy VII, I can definitely tell you that, Yuffie and Vincent, ironically the two characters with, the two hidden characters who technically have no direct connection to the plot. What the hell was that? There's a catch here, right? This seems a lot really easy so far. Being one of the final boss's spells. Well, I mean, I assume I have to be playing on normal difficulty or higher to get Kaguya. I'm gonna try to get this without losing life. So I'm gonna hush up a bit. But, anyway, I mean, damn it. Yuffie sort of has a connection to the plot in that she hates Shinra. Vincent, it's sort of like auxiliary connection. Are you What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I didn't know this was gonna happen. Am I safe here? Please tell me I'm safe here. Please, I'm going to be very sad if I'm not safe here. I'm going to be very sad if I lose this credit before... Wait, what? Oh, I can't... Oh yeah, this is that last spell thing. That's right, I remember, something about this. So that didn't count, right? I still win? Nothing's happening, this is really worrying me. See, now you get my genuine reaction here? Like, because I had the stupid, audio issues, which were probably my fault, back in, PCB, so you didn't get to hear my reaction to, What's Chen doing? And what does she have? Is that a fish? Hey, I actually got a true ending. This is a first. I'm impressed with myself, and this is a nice video to come back with. And I've managed to talk for most of the video. I mean, maybe I wasn't saying interesting things, but I'd say this is a step above the, non-quality of my previous videos. What was I saying, though? Was the thing. I don't care. Who cares? I don't. I'm just gonna take a moment to let this all sink in. Sorry if the commentary is more boring than usual and that there isn't any. Or maybe that's an improvement. What? Goddamn Japanese wordplay. Also, that's Yukari, right, that I'm seeing there? Jeez, I see what people were saying, that Zun draws everyone as a lolly. I mean... That's, It's not just that her chest is flat, although I will admit that's part of it. Like, her limbs... I mean, granted, it's not Satori bad. Satori levels of horrible proportions. But, Say, do I unlock the, What do you mean, normal ending number 5? Try playing again without using a continue. I didn't use a continue. I 1CC'd the game. First time I've ever 1CC'd a Touhou game without cheating. I cheated on EOSD. I want to reiterate, I beat Romelia legitimately without cheating once off camera. Only once, though. Every other time I've gotten through EOSD completely, it was cheating to give myself infinite lives. By the way, if you're interested in that cheat, I will post a link to the, I have bookmarked. So I'll post a link to the instructions on how to, you have to use CheatEngine. But someone kindly on the CheatEngine forums interpreted the code for what command you need to use to stop your lives from ticking down. But if anyone's interested, I'll post that in the description. It'll be the first description I've properly written for a huge amount of time. So, thank you a lot for everyone who's stuck around during this extended hiatus. I mean it. I can't thank you enough for sticking around and posting, commenting on my update videos. I do really hope to post more frequently. So I'll hopefully be back exactly a week from when this goes up with the Marisa and Alice playthrough of this. I'm not sure how well I'll do with that because I've only practiced with Reimu and Yukari. But I'll give it a few practice runs in the meantime. And hope you like the well, I can't really say there's a new format, but if things get more boring later on, I will try to edit stuff out, edit the more boring parts out. Jeez, that is quite a score. 0 frames dropped. Wow, I'm kind of impressed with this new. I have a new computer too. I have it. Before I was always using a laptop, so that was a huge. Like I went through 2 laptops, and that was a huge problem. But MSNAI, what's that? Oh. AL. Spell practice has been unlocked. Thank you for telling me that. So, I've tried to make my commentary more interesting this time around. I'd certainly say that my quality of gameplay was better. It wasn't great. I'm sure some of you will be pointing out my mistakes in the chat, in the comments. Feel free to do so, by the way. I'm not critiquing that. I do appreciate it, even if I don't always listen to you properly. But thanks. I really just can't thank you enough for just being there. And hopefully I'll see you again soon. If luck and skill and all that jazz are on my side. Also, please do explain what the hell that counter in the lower left is, lower left corner, and how I'm assuming that I have to go through at normal to unlock the extra stage and fight Kaguya properly. But I'll find that out as I go along if no one answers me, I suppose. So, see you next time.